All right, boys and girls, what's up? It's a Salty Vet back with a video for the day. Um, I promise I've got some funnier stuff coming. Still dealing with the kidney stones. Um, they're funny if you hear about them secondhand. Not funny if you've experienced them or have them. I'm going to touch just a little bit on the corporate media's word of the day today. And the word of the day is weird. Now, if you've ever seen any of the compilations put together that the corporate media gets their talking points from, I'm assuming, the Democratic National Committee, maybe through their owner. Not really sure what the process is, but just when you have a minute, YouTube news compilation, that should probably bring it up. And what you will see is multiple, I'm talking 30, 40, 50 different newscasts, both national and local, that will be speaking and using the exact same verbiage, right? The exact same talking points. So, point number one on the video today is, and I've made it again, I made a short about it earlier today. If you are only getting your news from the corporate media, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, right? If that's the only place you're getting your news, whichever side of the aisle you're on, you're fucking up, because you're in a silo, right? You're only getting the news that drives their audience. So to get the other half, you either need to go listen to Fox if you're liberal, MSNBC if you're conservative. If you can't stomach that, then you do research online. When you hear a story about X, you go find it and you do your own research or listen to podcasts, right? Podcasts, while they do have ads, they don't have, Pfizer fucking giving them money. So it's much more reliable, and then you do research on top of that. Okay. So the word of the day is weird. There's a compilation out, just like I said, where they're talking about JD Vance and how weird he is. Now, the compilation leads off with Harris talking about how weird JD Vance is. Two things. Kamala Harris calling somebody weird is well past ironic. It's just fucking comical. And anybody pretty much that's a leftist. So I separate the Democratic Party from leftists. Anybody that's a lefty calling literally anybody weird is hilarious. Like, you're the party of fucking weird. Right? You have men running around in dresses in appointed positions in the Pentagon and White House and what have you. So, whatever. But their talking points, and here's just a few of them. When Joe Rogan took ivermectin, it was horse dewormer, right? Ivermectin is a drug that has won a Nobel Peace Prize. And it's used for a myriad of things, including deworming horses, but that's the one they grabbed a hold of, right? That's the one that they horse paste, horse dewormer, something to that effect. That's the one the corporate media latched onto. Convicted felon, another one. While technically accurate, it doesn't leave any room for nuance. Right? And this is a problem with social media and the corporate media. There's no room for nuance, right? He's a convicted felon. Okay, tell me how that came to be. That's the fucking nuance. They took a misdemeanor and somehow got it switched to a felony, or under the RICO conspiracy, 34 counts, one act. But they never identified what this one act was that was a felony, right? What was another one? Pandemic of the unvaccinated. I'll never forgive them for this one because they were shaming people for not wanting to put things into their own body, which is, again, so hypocritical because they're the party of my body, my choice. Well, why didn't it apply to my body? Why does it only apply to abortion? Interesting. And then the latest one is she's not the border czar, or wasn't the border czar, right? Okay, whatever. So that's point one. Point two is J.D. Vance is an odd dude, right? That statement, I feel, is factually correct. My problem is that they took it and ran with it. And again, you're the party of weird, so you should be celebrating his weirdness, I would think. But he's cut from a different cloth. He thinks about things a different way. It also could be said of Elon Musk. He's a little bit weird. He sees things differently. Most super intelligent people do. They just see things differently than the rest of us, right? But JD made a statement, and here's where I get on the Republicans. And if Trump gets elected, I promise you, he's going to take his fair share from me because he's going to fuck up. He's going to say dumb shit, and he's going to do dumb shit. The quote was, "We should tax the things that are bad and not tax the things that are good." Okay, so couple of problems with that. Who gets to determine what is good and what is bad? Massive, massive fucking problem. Who gets to determine that? The federal government? Fuck you. No. No. But by that logic, if you follow it out to its logical conclusion, at least the way I think about it, he should want to repeal the income tax. If working is good, if the bulk of America works doing whatever you do, right, then I would think you would want to incentivize that rather than disincentivize it by, especially in the middle class, but also the rich people. Like the rich people are the one that employ people. They build businesses to employ other people. But if you want to incentivize that, wouldn't you want to make it to where people wanted to go to work? Because the system we're in now incentivizes people for sitting on their fucking ass. And I don't even think that's a radical thought. I think it's pretty much a fact at this point. So I have a problem with him saying that and then him sitting in judgment of what is good and what is bad. That's a problem for the federal government, for the state government, for the local mayor to determine what's good and bad as it affects my life. You don't get to make that determination, right? So you get no pushback from me on the fact that J.D. Vance is a little odd, right? But he is highly intelligent. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But if he continues to go down this path of a moral high ground, that's what we're trying to get rid of now. Like it's the same thing, just in a different coat. And this has been my issue since before the pandemic. There's really only, it's not, I don't like the term uniparty, but there's so little difference between the left and the right. It's staggering, right? We have now a government who is telling us it's wrong if you don't support this social cause. And you're a homophobe and you're a bigot and you're a racist and you're like, they go straight there. Again, no nuance. You didn't sell me on it. You didn't pitch me on the idea. You didn't help me to understand how me supporting that benefits me and my family. You just told me that if I didn't support it, I was wrong. Fuck you. You don't get to determine what's right and wrong. You just don't. We have laws for that. There are certain things that are against the law, right? There are certain things that are not against the law that are still just as wrong. And here's my main example, and I'm going to hammer it until they fucking change it. Congress people trading stocks. It's just fucking wrong. You're in there getting rich off inside information that you have sent other people to prison for. The exact same thing. So, yes, J.D. Vance is a little odd, but pay more attention to the media, especially the left-leaning media. The right side does it too, but they're not as good at it, right? They're not as slick. When they do it, it's really kind of blatantly obvious. The left has been doing it for so fucking long, they're really, really good at it. They are, 10th degree black belt in doing that shit. And it's psychological manipulation is all it is. If you hear something enough, you start to believe it, right? Hear a lie enough, it becomes the truth. That's what they do. So pay attention when you watch the news, right? And then do your research. It is incumbent upon you to do your research. I cannot stress this enough. All right? Y'all be cool. Be back next week.